In this back of the box video, we're going to be taking a look at the NEOS controller from CRKD. First, let's take a look at the controller's box. And it's going to come in a very premium box. It's packaged very well. And right on the outside, we're going to go ahead and get a list of all the features that this controller is going to have. Programmable back buttons, Hall effect thumbsticks, swappable thumbsticks, wireless connections, motion control, and rumble. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up the box here, and inside we're going to be getting a quick start guide, a manual, a USB-A to USB-C cable, a carrying pouch, and the NEOS controller. Alright, so now that we take a look at the packaging and box, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual physical controller itself. What I really like when you pick up this controller, it does have a really good build quality on this plastic. This is a quality feeling plastic, not as cheap or as light as I felt like the CRKD Nitro deck was. The CRKD Nitro deck kind of felt like a little bit of a cheaper plastic than what we're getting here in the NEOS. And we're going to start right off with the form factor. So, as you can see, this is in a candy bar retro style. We're not getting any kind of handles down here like modern controllers. We've got our shoulder buttons, a little clicky, a little loud, but not horrendous or anything. And triggers. We do have analog triggers on the back here. We got a good range of motion to them, at least in the feel. Maybe a little too much on this. A little spongy feeling, but I don't know, they feel good. I think for like racing, if you're going to be able to get analog inputs coming out of these, which is going to exclude the switch as it is a digital input on the triggers. So taking a look at the front of this controller, we're going to have our two thumbsticks, the D-pad here, which has a pretty good response. It's not loud. Now we have two smaller buttons here in the center. The negative and plus signs are going to be for select and start, and the center button is for capturing and screenshots. We have the actual CRKD button up here, which is going to be like our home button. Pressing that is going to turn it on. Also, the home button will wake the switch when it's pressed. We have our power indicator LED light right here, telling us that it is charged and connected, and it'll change color depending on the connection type. So the face buttons, of course, are in switch style. We have our A, B, X, Y. And then on the back, we do have our programmable back buttons. And the little black button on the back here is to activate the programming for those back buttons. And of course, the look of this one is the clear plastic. You can get these in multiple colors and styles. What's kind of nice about the clear is you can see kind of the rumble motors that are in there. They're small, but not too bad. Actually, they feel really nice. A lot better than a lot of smaller controllers or even some of the larger controllers I've tried. So taking a look here at the thumbsticks, they are Hall effect and they are swappable. So you can pop the tops of these controllers off and replace them. And of course, CRKD sells a variety of tops for them, or if you already have the Nitro deck, those tops will also be able to be used on this controller. One important thing to note about these controllers from CRKD is depending on the color variant and style, there are different tops that they come with. On this clear one, they are these rounded sticks with the texture to them. I really enjoy that. I think these are some of the best tops. They feel good in the thumb. You don't have to be directly on the controller to get it to grip. They grab onto the side of your thumb very easily. So it allows going between the buttons and joysticks to feel much more comfortable. But again, you can swap those out with any number of tops that CRKD sells, or if you have other controllers, you can swap them in between those controllers. Taking a look at the bottom of the controller, we do have a 3.5mm audio jack and connections for the dock that you can get as an accessory for this controller. Now this dock is great because it has a USB-C port there on the back. Plug that in, and then it's just as easily as dropping in your controller to get it to charge. So the dock normally goes for about $10, and you're talking about $40 to $50 depending on the sale for the actual controller. Now, I was a little concerned picking this up, like, is this candy bar style actually going to be comfortable to play? I have put a lot of time into this controller, and I have to say, I found it to be actually quite comfortable. Just the way it holds here. The only issue I've had using this controller has been accidental bumps on the bumpers here. I feel like when I'm holding the triggers that my finger catches, and these will actuate from the sides or front. So they're they're really sensitive. They're great to be able to actually hit if needed, but I do find myself sometimes bumping into those. So I've just had to change my hand position and grip, and that's kind of fixed that main issue that I've had with this controller. So I don't really have an issue with any of the buttons on this controller, except for kind of these two, the plus and minus. They're concaved a little, and I don't know if that's easy to pick up here on the camera. Now, while that makes it easy to figure out that you're actually selecting one of these buttons and differentiates it from this center button, I just don't like the feel of them. It's just a tactile preference, but that concave, it's so tiny that you really only feel like a little rim of this button, and it's not satisfying. I have no problem with the face buttons, but yeah, that concave, that little dip that's in the middle of these, just not my cup of tea. I have found the sticks on this controller to be some of the best sticks I've had on any of the controllers. In fact, this is kind of my go-to controller now in terms of portable controllers. And right off the bat, we can see that we do have motion control. Oh man, these feel really nice. So take a look at how well these joysticks work. We're going to bring this up here in the Switch diagnostic, and we can see that we're getting really good motion from these sticks. In fact, we can actually set this controller to no dead zones, but I find that to be way too sensitive. I mean, it will pick up every little vibration from your thumb sitting on these sticks. And maybe that's something that you're going to like, but it's great that we have that ability to take dead zones completely out. But I find that the preset dead zones that are in there are really only there to get rid of the slight vibrations that are on your thumb or just resting against the joysticks. It really surprised me that I enjoyed using a controller of this design when usually an Xbox style controller is my go-to. And it doesn't really cramp the hand up. Like, I really thought I would have issues using a dual stick with no kind of support down here. But it does just kind of fit in the hand fairly well. Now we're going to get multiple styles of connectivity to this controller. We can hook it up wired by USB-C. We can connect it to a Switch, iOS, Android, and X input for PC. So the different pairing processes for this controller is simply just holding the D-pad and pressing the home button. So if we press that up and hold the home, we're in red mode, which was for the Switch, and of course I've already had that paired with my Switch, so now that is running. To turn off the controller, we're just going to press and hold that home button again, and hold till it shuts off. That's pretty standard on any other controller. I really enjoy the rumble on this controller. It's just enough for it. It's not HD rumble, and it's not too loud, it's not annoying. I really found that the cracked Nitro deck had really poor rumble. There's a lot of cheaper controllers out there, and other ones, even in this price range, where it's a very rattly rumble, and it feels very weak. These feel great. So is the Neo S going back in the box? Well, not for me. I absolutely enjoy using this controller. I find it to be more portable than carrying around an Xbox-style controller, and I find the responsiveness of these sticks, D-pad, and buttons to be phenomenal compared to other controllers that I've gotten. I'd be curious to hear from you in the comments on your thoughts on this controller, or maybe you have a more preferable controller that you like. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.